Hello and welcome to the U.S. Department of Energy Solar Decathlon 2023 Design Challenge. We're so excited you're here with us to listen today. We're going to be presenting Getting a Head Start in the competition with the project summary. My name is Rachel Romero, and I am your Solar Decathlon Design Challenge Competition Manager, and I'm excited to be joined today by Solar Decathlon Assistant Competition Manager for the Design Challenge, Taylor Ryan. All right, let's get started here. On the next slide, we are going to cover a quick overview. We are going to cover in detail some information about the project site. It's got a lot of nooks and crannies, and we want to make sure that you are getting all that great information there. And then we're also going to cover the project summary. This deliverable is a great opportunity to get engaged with the design challenge. And we'll conclude with next steps and what you should be working on next. All right. We are so excited to welcome you and your team to the Solar Decathlon Design Challenge. You are joining an esteemed group of over 20,000 alumni that have participated in the Solar Decathlon since 2002 and from all over the world. And your group is our largest yet, with over 124 teams signed up to participate from 95 collegiate institutions. And we are so excited to be welcoming many new collegiate institutions this year as well. So get excited. You are part of a fantastic group, and we're so happy to have you here. All right, next slide, we'll talk about the competition timeline. So we have just completed team registration, and the next deliverable is the optional preliminary project summary, which is due December 6th. This deliverable, Taylor will talk about further, is so important as it's our first deliverable, and we really hope that your team will be submitting something for this particular deadline. We will have minor updates to the design challenge rules in January if there are any minor updates to include. And then the next most important deadline is this February 21st. Semifinal submissions are due. That is a required submission and will coincide with the semifinal competition event on February 24th and 25th. We will have more details coming out in January with what will be happening then. Final submissions are due April 4th. Final presentation slides are due April 18th, and our Solar Decathlon competition event is April 20th through 23rd, and we'll be having more information about that in the spring as well. On the next slide, we will discuss what we are having to help teams. So we are holding office hours, Taylor and myself, to have kind of periodic open conversations with students and their teams. So these meeting times have been pre-scheduled, so you can see all of those on the project site with their Zoom links. And we encourage you to come with your questions. There is no agenda, and we will have really an open dialogue with students, with the organizers during this time. We'd love to ask your questions. We'd love you to ask your questions of the organizers and also come to hear questions that other teams are asking. This will be a great opportunity to potentially build connections with other Solar Decathlon students and faculty and learn from their projects and what they're working on and thinking about. So please join us for those. Our next one is scheduled in early February. Oh, November 15th, and then February. All right, next slide. Simultaneously, for each deliverable, we offer a corresponding webinar such as this one. So these are pre-recorded webinars that are posted on YouTube. They're also shared via email to students Each of these webinars will cover very important competition guidance, including what should go in the deliverable, as well as event information as we start to get closer to events, and crucial tips for success. So you don't want to miss these. We will have 4 of these. There will be a project summary, a semifinal submission webinar, a final submission webinar, and then how to really present like a professional towards the end. Right, next slide. I hope you're taking advantage of our building science education. Even if you are in a collegiate program that includes building science, I think you'd find these training modules so helpful. This education series is led by industry experts to help teams build a strong foundation in building science. And really learn the fundamentals that comprise our industry. The building science education, you can find more about this on the project site through the quick links in the Design Challenge software. And when you do that, you will also have access to comprehensive quizzes to test your knowledge and ensure that you're gaining this knowledge. Topics covered include zero energy design principles, very detailed information about building envelope and HVAC design, as well as lighting and plug loads. So make sure to check that out. Next, we have contest overview videos as well as a resource for teams. These are very short videos where covering each of the 10 contests. So as you start to think about each of the contests and how your building design addresses those, these videos really explain the intent of the 10 contests in the Solar Decathlon. So I recommend your team watch those maybe now and then maybe closer to the event, and to really understand how to incorporate concepts into your design as you go, as well as talk about each of these concepts in your design. Those can be found in the quick links under Solar Decathlon contest overview videos. And with that, I'll hand it over to Assistant Competition Manager, Taylor.
Great, thanks, Rachel. So talking about email communication, so email is the main way that we will deliver updates to you throughout the competition. So we will send weekly emails. They'll often come with the subject line Solar Decathlon Digest and are typically sent on Thursdays. And these emails go to all team members who are registered on the project site. So it's super important to make sure all members of your team are registered on there so that they get these key updates from us on a weekly basis. And really in these emails, we include competition updates, reminders about deadlines. We also include career opportunities, information about event logistics and upcoming deadlines. So really everything you need can be found in this email communication from the organizers, and they will be sent from sddesign@nrel.gov. And on the right-hand side here, we just have the friendly faces on the organizer team behind that email communication. And so moving into the project site will really be your central resource hub throughout the competition. This is where you can go to access software, tools, the building science education series, like Rachel mentioned. You will submit all your deliverables on the project site. And again, you must be registered on that site to receive organizer updates via email. And so getting into kind of some of those resources on the project site, the main area where those resources live is called the quick links. So when you first log into the project site, on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see the quick link section, and we included a screenshot of that on the right here. And these links will be updated throughout the competition to make sure they're the most relevant resources to you at that time. So we have the Design Challenge rules, office hours, Zoom links, software resources and tools, templates for deliverables, and an area to add team members. And so that One of those first quick links is adding team members. So if you were the person on your team to start your team on the project site, you will need to add all other members of your team to your project site account. And so when you log into the project site, go to the quick links on the left-hand side, you can click add/invite a team member, and then you'll have to individually add each member of your team in this way, putting in their first name, last name, and email address. And it's important to note for students that if you would like to join an existing team on the project site, you have to register using the unique link sent in an invitation email to you from someone adding you to their team on the project site. And then other, of course, important resources included in the quick links are the rules. So the rules are really your Northern Star throughout the competition. You'll hear Rachel and I talk about that a lot and constantly referring to the rules. So these include the timeline and important dates for the competition, requirements for all the deliverables, evaluation criteria that jurors will use to assess your project. So any question about the competition can usually be answered in the design challenge rules. And then under the quick links on the project site as well, we have software resources. So you'll see this under the design challenge software link. Software resources are provided by in-kind contributors to Solar Decathlon. So they offer Solar Decathlon students with exclusive access to different software and tools that are industry relevant. So preparing you to use these software and tools in your professional career, excuse me, and also making sure that you can use them to ensure success on your project. So for some of the software and tools that we make available to students, we have RS Means for financial analysis. For life cycle analysis, we have Tally and One-Click LCA. For energy modeling, we have Open Studio, Ecotrope, and RemRate. So all the software and tools that you would like to access throughout the competition can be found under the quick links on the project site. And one more important note related to energy modeling that the organizers have already sent in an email out to students, but we do offer teams the opportunity to be paired with a performance modeling advisor to help your team specifically with energy modeling. And so these are professionals in the IBIPSA network, which is the International Building Performance Simulation Association. And so these are professionals who can help your team again with energy modeling, and you can sign up to be paired with one of those modeling advisors until January 2023. And then the last resource under the quick links we wanted to cover are the deliverable templates. These are not required for teams to use, but provide a structure and an organization for you to create your deliverables. And so the deliverable template that's currently on the project site is for the project summary. And so your team has the ability to kind of plug and play into that template and put in your design strategy and goals and other details of your project into a nice, neat, organized template available on there. And so shifting gears to our first deliverable, which is the project summary, like Rachel mentioned, that is an optional deliverable. It will be due on December 6th by 5 o'clock Eastern time, submitted again via the project site. And the project summary is your 2-page executive summary of your design project. So it will include high-level details like your project name, your team name, collegiate institution, and intended division. You'll provide a concise description of your project and target market. You'll talk about your design goals and strategies and cover, key project data and technical specifications, and also how your project is relevant to the competition goals. So referring back to the rules and making sure that you're aligned there. And in terms of best practices for the project summary, these best practices can be aligned with the guiding question of, if you only had 10 minutes to pitch your design, what would you highlight? And so the ideal project summary balances the use of text and images, You'll make sure that it's easy to read and that your audience can quickly find project data. And also making sure that you highlight unique elements of your project, what makes your project stand out from the competition. And you can see on the left-hand side here an example from the 2022 Design Challenge, one of our grand winners. We include the project summaries for all the division winners from previous Design Challenge competitions on the Solar Decathlon website so that you can look back at those as a template of success for your team. So with that, I will turn it back over to Rachel.
Great. Thank you, Taylor, for covering that. As Taylor said, 1, read the rules. These are your next steps, and reading the rules is such an important part of this program. Consider stepping back and developing a problem statement and your design goals early. These are going to feed into your project summary and really set the stage for your project. And then read the rules again. Not kidding. Make sure that you're in line with the rules and your building fits in your building type and division, and that you understand where the deliverables are and how they work within the competition. Then organize your team. Consider a structure for your team if you have more than a couple of members, and delegate tasks. We've heard teams say they had an energy modeling lead or a lead for architecture or engineering. So consider how to break up the tasks and work through them. Each team member needs to start the building science education or be taking equivalent curriculum, but we encourage you to really start through those modules and learn about the background building science you need to participate in the Solar Decathlon. And next, seek out some industry partners. Industry partners can help you and your team be successful. They can do reviews and provide feedback on your design as you go along. They can provide reviews starting from your problem statement and design goals, from your plot selection and occupant selection. So industry partners are a key part of this program, and seeking them out and starting that relationship early is always a great way to have a successful project. Next slide. So some important upcoming dates. We will have our next office hours on November 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we look forward to answering your questions during that time. We look forward also to your preliminary project summaries on December 6th, 2022 by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our deliverables are always due by the same time, and we always encourage you to submit early. So we look forward to many submissions well before 5 p.m. on December 6th. As always, we want to say thank you to our Solar Decathlon sponsors, particularly this year, our Steward sponsor, Allegiance, and their supporting companies for being a leader within our industry and supporting the Solar Decathlon. Thank you also to our supporting sponsors and contributing sponsors who really make this program possible. With that, feel free to reach out to us at any time at sddesign@nrel.gov or solardecathlon@nrel.gov with your questions. We are here to help your team be successful and to answer those questions along the way. Thank you.